Welcome to this Innovation Days webinar series. My name is Frank Jacobs. I'm with Xeikon, the product manager of all the toner-based engines and products. I have experience of more than 25 years in digital printing, and I'm delighted to be able to explain to you our Xeikon Titon press and what we can do together with the Kurz DM Smart Liner. Okay, so let's get going. What do I have in store for you today? So again, I will elevate on digital printing with Xeikon Titon technology together with Kurz embellishment. I will first explain to you what the TX500 is together with Titon toner. I will explain what the Titon toner is capable of doing. So I will explain the different applications. Then I will go deeper into the metallization process that we have developed together with Kurz and the specific advantages. Dry toner and dry toner presses have unique benefits on the market of label printing or packaging printing in general. It is food compliant, it has no smell, it is recyclable. On the other hand, inkjet printing also has specific benefits. For instance, they are durable, the prints are durable. In essence, there's no need for varnish. And of course, there's more pros and cons of the different technologies. But wouldn't it be great to have those both benefits of either dry toner and inkjet together in one product? Well, that is exactly what Titon technology has to bring. And by the way, Xeikon is the only supplier that has dry toner and UV inkjet available in the product portfolio. And now we have something that brings the best of both worlds together with the Titon technology. So indeed, Titon technology is food compliant, and I will elaborate on that further in my presentation. It is odorless, it is also recyclable. And yet, Titon toner, prints of Titon, are also durable, and there is no varnish needed to protect the prints. How does the technology work? Well, here you see a cross-section of the Xeikon TX500, and the TX500 is the press that runs on the Titon toner. You see it has 5 printing stations, as you can see here. And the printing stations are ordered from bottom to the top. And it's a roll-fed press. The toner that we are using is based on molecules that are relatively large, molecules based out of plastic. And we have added a photo initiator to that toner. Now, after the printing process, where we put the toner onto the printing substrate, we need to fix the toner to the substrate, and that is happening in the first fusing step. So the Titon toner is heated during a regular fusing step, which is being done for all our toners. But in the next step, we are adding a light to that toner, and that light initiates through radiation, initiates and activates the photo initiator. The photo initiator that then cross-links the different molecules together. And this forms a very tough and hard, durable toner layer. So after the fusing step and after the curing step with the LED light, the toner becomes hard and durable, and from that moment on, it cannot be melted again. So durable print, what does that mean? Well, first of all, that toner resists high temperatures. High temperatures, what does that mean? Well, we're talking about 180 degrees centigrade, 210 degrees centigrade, even higher. It depends a little bit on the time that the prints are exposed to that temperature. So we have actually done tests at 250 degrees centigrade. The toner still is not melting. That's the first thing. Second thing, it is scratch and scuff resistant. So normally dry toner prints in most cases are being varnished, overprint varnish. With Titon toner, that is not needed anymore for for protection. So protective varnish is normally not needed, or lamination is also not needed for protection. There could be another reason to apply varnish, for instance, for the looks, but for protection, it's not needed. And then thirdly, Titon prints are also resistant to certain solvents. These characteristics are special for Titon toner and are not there for the normal dry toner that we and other suppliers do have. I already mentioned that the Titon toner is food approved. Now, what does that mean? First of all, in terms of composition, the components of which the Titon toner consists of is picked as such that it complies with all the rules and regulations that we all are familiar with. So here you see some of them. The Nestlé standard on printing inks and food for packaging, we are okay for that. We are also okay for Swiss ordnance, for German ink ordnance. We are also okay with the UPA exclusion list for inks. But furthermore, this is about the composition. We also have tested this toner in a migration test. Migration tests being executed by independent specialized labs. So we print on a specific substrate. We put the substrate in contact with the substrate on the other side, and they wait under certain conditions in terms of temperature and time. They wait quite some time and see if there is any component of the toner that does migrate to the other side. And that independent lab confirmed that there is no migration that is higher than the limits that are allowed for food. So the toner, the Titon toner, is compliant for migration for indirect food contact. The Titon toner is run on the TX500 digital label press. It's a press that has 1200 dpi resolution. It has 5 printing stations, typically with CMYK, of course, but it also is available with white as a spot color or different other spot colors, such as orange, green, and red. Printing speed goes up to 30 meters per minute, and the substrate that can hold goes from 250 millimeters wide to 520 millimeters wide. Just like all other presses from Xeikon, it is controlled and managed by the X800 digital front end with the powerful capabilities that it has. And yes, also the TX500 has the Xeikon cruise control, where software together with measurement apparatus such as inline registration camera does control the printing quality in a closed loop system. So that's the toner. What can you do with this toner? I will explain some applications that are being done with this toner. First of all, pouches. The toner is food safe the toner does not need any lamination or overprint varnish. And this allows direct printing on pouches. Pouches today, most of the time, are being produced with a reverse printing method, where the ink is actually encapsulated in between two substrates. Well, with the Xeikon Titon toner, this is not necessarily needed because the toner can be printed on the outside. And as we have seen, it is fit for indirect food contact because there is no migration above the limits that are allowed. So first application for Titon, certainly pouches. For instance, on paper, but also on specific plastic substrates. Second application for Titon is labels. We have several customers who are using the TX500 specifically for labels, and actually a lot of the time for wine labels. The reason why they are doing that is they can save the protective varnishing step, which often is very cumbersome, specifically if you want to varnish with water-based varnish. Water-based varnish used, for instance, on wine labels, and wine labels need protection because of wine bottles in transport. They rub against each other, which could damage the labels. Now with Titon toner, you do not need to do overprint varnish because the toner surface is durable enough so that the labels do not get scratched. And therefore, you save one important and again, sometimes cumbersome step in the finishing. And that's why TX500 with Titon toner is used for label printing. Another example is paper cups. With Xeikon TX500, you can produce paper cups. Food safety, migration, again, is an important aspect. And for short run, basically, there is no other solution than this dry toner digital printing way of producing paper cups. And the TX500 really is an industrial solution. At this speed and at this productivity, there is no better solution to do this than with the TX500. Wall deco, it's a little bit a special application maybe outside of the labels and packaging world, but indeed, we have customers who are using the TX500 and other Xeikon presses, but specifically the TX500 for wallpaper. Also there, we have an industrial solution going from an unprinted roll to a fully printed roll, slit on both sides, rewound with the cordless rewinder. And with the Titon process, you don't need to varnish it anymore because it's protected enough. And then another application of Titon is combining it with another toner, a toner that is that can be melted time and again. And I will explain that in the next slide. But this will bring unique embellishments, ways in a perfect registration and in a very easy way to integrate into the workflow. How does that work? Here you see the line, the full line with on the left, the unwinder with substrate that is not printed, and on the right, the substrate that is completely printed and embellished with metallization. So we start and the paper goes in, and at location number 1, you will see that it is printed with CMYK with Titon toner, and on place number 2, it is printed, but only the metal elements that later on will need to be applied or will be applied are printed in the 5th printing station. The first 4 printing stations have Titon toner. The 5th printing station has a transfer toner in the 5th station. Next, we come to the fusing and curing part. In location number 3, all the toners will be fused. At location number 4, only the Titon toners will be cured with an LED light. Then we go to the Kurtz DM Smartliner R520. At location number 5, what will happen is that the toner that was printed in station number 5, in the 5th printing station, will act as a transfer layer, and the metallization will transfer only to that 5th printed color. The CMYK colors will not melt because those were printed with Titon toner. Those are durable toners, and there no metallization will happen. And so in this way, you have a means of applying metallization at only very specific parts, exactly there where you did print in the 5th printing station. Or in other words, in the printing press, you define what will be metallized, and so you have full control of the process. This is a very unique process, and in the next slide, I will explain what the specific benefits are. First of all, you have an enormous flexibility with this way of metallization. Metallization is available from the first label that comes out of the press. You have a minimum job size of 1, basically, because you have full control of the digital press. You can define what needs to be metallized and what not, and every label can be different. The combination of variable printing with variable metallization is truly unique. And we support uncoated papers, which is not possible with cold foil. You have an enormous design freedom. Small details can be in positive or negative print. That is absolutely possible. You can combine small, very tiny small text elements with actually full surfaces of metal, which is really unique. You cannot do that with hot foil, for instance, where if you want to do it there, you need to do it in 2 steps. Here you can do it in 1 step. Kurtz has a full set of different metal foils that you can use, metallizations that can be used, and some of them are semi-transparent. Semi-transparent so that the color underneath can shine through as well. This gives some extra unique features that you can use in this system, in this solution. The system is very cost efficient because, first of all, you do not have any stamping tools needed. The setup time is minimal, and the waste is also very few. There's no additional setups labels needed to be printed, which typically in the normal way of doing that is certainly not the case. Speed to market. There's no lead time for the tools. There's no tools. You can start printing and converting immediately. It's very easy to use. Those who know our presses probably know how strong and how powerful our X800 is. Well, in the X800, you can, by controlling the 5th color, you have immediately the full control of the metallization. So adding metallization is as easy as adding an additional color to the design. Easy file handling. Print and embellishment is truly driven by the digital front end. And because everything is printed in the same press, you have a perfect registration of all the 5 colors, CMYK, plus the metallization. And that's truly, yeah, top-notch compared to others. Enabling variable elements in sync with variable content of the label is something that is really amazing to do. Sustainability. It's a very sustainable solution compared to printing with metallized substrates. If you another way of doing metallized effects could be to print on a metallized substrate, but there you use a lot of material. The metallization of curds is also food safe. That has been tested by them. And it's a one-step process. There's no intermediate waste for creating all these metallization designs and prints. Now, what does that cost compared to different technologies of doing embellishment? And for this, we are taking several aspects into account: the operator cost, the tooling, if there is tooling, substrate waste, Xeikon usage parts, and Kurtz usage parts. And adding them all up, our estimate is that this will bring us to approximately 20 euros per 1,000 labels. But if you compare that with other means of embellishment, and there's, of course, different other solutions as well. Everyone has their pros and cons. But then you can see that the Kurtz, together with Xeikon, has truly a low-cost solution compared to if you have, for instance, hot foil, where you have a lot of tooling, a lot of substrate waste that you can foresee. So therefore, it's absolutely a plus that this solution has to offer. Now, how does that solution look like live in action? I will try to play a short movie to give you a little bit an idea what that looks like. I hope this works fine in the webinar. Let's give it a go. I will stop the movie in somewhere in the middle to explain a little bit what it looks like. You see the prints coming out. Okay, that's how the solution looks like. So you see here the backside of the press. You see a little bit a bluish light. That is the LED lamp that is curing the Titon toner. You see here then this unit is the Kurtz DM Smart Liner R520. You see here the backside, the transfer foil that is being rewound after it has been in contact with the substrate. The substrate that comes out here has the metallization on top of the prints. And here you see a little bit, the foil going up to the roll. And eventually, the prints are being rewound here on a rewinder. I will play the movie a little bit further, and you will see it in action. You see here, you can switch from one design to another. You will see that happen here. In this bird-like design, every bird actually has a different metallization on it. This is a very nice design of a label for a wine label, and I'll explain a little bit more about that in the slides to come. This is what it looks like. I think it's. I hope this did come through nicely in the webinar. Now, variable print, with digital printing, you can, of course, control variable print. And again, our X800 is very powerful in doing that. But variable print together with Kurtz means that with controlling the variable print, you actually have full control of variable metallization. We started with a wine label like this, and actually later on added variable data to that. Here you see the label. And what we actually added is this part where you see a variable code. And for every bottle, the code is different. You also see a variable pattern, in this case, some birds. And you see a QR code that is unique for every bottle. I will not go into detail how we did make that, because also Kurtz and other companies have nice software to do that. But here you see some different designs. Different labels will have different codes, different bird patterns, and different QR codes. That will look like this. You will see here the bottle in the middle has a different bird pattern than the left bottle or than the right bottle. So by controlling the variable print and by you can control the variable metallization, and this gives you an extra means of controlling and of adding value to your labels or to your pouches, or maybe even to wallpaper or paper cups, where you can use variable metallization on the prints. Again, Titon can not only be used for labels, but also for pouches, for wallpaper, and for other applications. What are the key takeaways of my webinar? First of all, Xeikon Titon is a unique digital printing technology that we developed. It's actually the best of both worlds of regular dry toner and UV inkjet. It enables bespoke applications, such as, and you can see here again, label printing, pouches, wallpaper, paper cups, and actually there's others. And together with Kurtz, you have a unique way of applying metallization, embellishment to those prints. And that embellishment process is happening in one pass. Very powerful. You print and you do the metallization in one pass. The registration is nearly perfect. It's so perfect that actually it could be used also for security print. The fifth color defines the metallization, and in this way you have full control of the metallization so that you can actually generate full variable data, and you do not have the need for any tooling, so no waiting for tooling to get ready to be ordered.